Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Cirque Creative channel. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Today I'm going to be doing a bit more of a chilled video, just going over a few of the sketches I've done while in lockdown. I've had a bit more time to really put some time into these pieces, and you know, it's not like the sort of just a quick sketch in a black book to take to a wall. I've actually been able to put a few hours into pages, which I never really did before, so I've really enjoyed that. Yeah, let's go get into a few of the sketches. So yeah, like I was saying, lockdown's sort of given me the opportunity to really put a lot more time into my sketches that I just sort of do for practice anyway. Normally I would just kind of hash together some kind of outline kind of thing, maybe chuck a fill in there, maybe not, and yeah, take it to the wall. This has really given me the chance to, you know, really create some cool stuff on some pages here. This is just some A3 card. I don't really like working in black books too much. I'm not sure what it is about it. I just don't feel like don't like being confined to a book. I like to be able to have a page that I can sort of rotate and draw from. I know a lot of other artists are like that. Everyone has their preference, I guess. But anyway, yeah, here you can see this is sort of a theme that I've trying to carry throughout, really practicing my straight letters. A tip that I've talked about a lot is name weight, letter weight. So as you can see, all the bars are roughly the same thickness. You know, that's from like the start of the letter to the end. You know, these are the same thickness here, here, all across. Really simple, and yeah, these are a few pieces that I really can't wait to get out and paint once I have the opportunity after lockdown. So yeah, simple 3D. So it's just a straight drop down 3D and that sort of 45-degree angle that way. It's simple, it really saves ink, to be fair, and yeah, you can do it quickly and it gives off quite a cool effect. Little interior detail that I'm sort of spending a lot of time doing now is these little black sort of like internal lines that sort of pass through, and yeah, really easy to do. You just measure from the bottom with a ruler and then draw across, and yeah, you can do those pretty easily. Okay, so second piece here, again, it's just a cert piece, a little bit more stylized this one. Try to push the boat out a little bit more on this one with the kind of extensions and the features. So as you can see here, we've got kind of nice curved edge with this piece here that kind of juts out. I've tried to keep that with a bit of symmetry. So we've got kind of one there, one here, and one here on as the kickoff on the R. Kind of works, kind of doesn't. I mean, it doesn't flow amazingly. Spent some time, you know, working in. You can see the interior details again. And yeah, I like working with just black and white as it really strips the whole thing back. I mean, no, you can't really hide behind a really stylish fill and all that if your letter structure's off. And so yeah, it really helps that. And you can also create some really sharp lines. And because of the, you know, white to black contrast that you're running with there, you've got, you know, you can really create some sharp lines, like as you can see here and here. You know, these are really kind of sharp angles. And yeah, I guess the eye just sort of finds that quite attractive in that sense. Got this sort of like rising sun here in the background. Those are really easy to like kind of pull off. Just need like a round shape and then measure off the angles. Yep, and it splashes in the background, and then again 3D, just a drop down 3D. Really simple. Make sure you've got all of the lines going in the same direction throughout, and then you can use the same directional lines inside the 3D to create your shading. I've just done that by kind of a cross-hatching technique. And so a cross-hatching technique is where you use lines and you'll create sort of more lines in an area you want to be heavily shaded, and less lines in an area here where you don't want any shading. So this is an area which will receive a lot of light, whereas this area here, which is heavily shaded with lines, will be receiving less light because it's got kind of restrictions because it's hidden behind this area. And yeah, that gives you the appearance of a three-dimensional shape. Another little piece here went really simple, and a kind of mixture between graffiti and block print serif lettering. So we've got kind of really simple, and then you've got like kind of graffiti extension here, and then graffiti extension here, but then you've got a simple like serif style here, again with the crosshatch shading. So I've got this kind of underline here which I've shaded to show that that is below lettering. I also like how I've sort of added this kind of 3D onto the E, which pops it above the R, and it gives that kind of effect of layering within the lettering, which is always quite cool. Yeah, really simple, on with some kind of simple classic graffiti interior details. We've got like the dots, we've got some drips, and yeah, I was just experimenting with some geometric shapes, the kind of clouding I like to do, and the hatching. These are really fun ones to do. Again, black and white, so the contrast is there, helps it pop off. Next one here, really simple one. This is the kind of thing that I like to do while I sort of like watch a film or just have like a podcast or music on. I'll lay out a sheet of this A3 and just go and do some simple lettering. So here we can see a simple SERP again with drop down 3D. Really simple. You know, working with black and white, as I said, you can't hide behind any kind of fill or really complicated 3D or background or characters. It's just stripped back, it's the lettering, and working with black and white is brilliant because you can create some really sharp lines. If you get a decent fine liner set, highly recommend doing that because you kind of get a variation of thicknesses. So the ones I use are, so this is sort of my like go-to traveling sketch for black and white stuff. And this is what I recommend. It's the Uniball I Fine. And then with that, you can create some really fine lines for like your base outline. And then I go in with like the Uni pins, which is a 0.5. Mine go down to like a 0.05. So that's like really ridiculously fine. I'd never use something like that on this. If I was creating something really sharp and not just some kind of quick outline, then I'd go for those. But yeah, definitely pick yourself up a pack of fine liners for doing stuff like really detailed work, and you can really work out precision. But again, it's all in the initial sketch. So working with your pencils and in the like initial sketching stage, make sure you've got all that letter name weight, make sure you've got the structure, make sure you're not just adding details for the sake of it, and you're only doing it to add style. And then when you're actually inking in, yeah, those are good tools to use. Here's another one, again, black and white, very simple. I think I did like a few of these in one day kind of thing because I was just enjoying black and white. Drop down 3D again, 45-degree angle, kind of like it looks like a more advanced kind of drop shadow, but obviously it's 3-dimensional. And then you've got the drop shadow here, which kind of gives off the effect of, okay, this is a 3D object, but then the background that is projected on is dropping a shadow. For example, this pen is a 3D object. It's not a 2D object, it's 3D. And then this as a 3D object casts a shadow. Compared to a throw up, which you could argue is a 2D object, which is dropping just a singular drop shadow. So we've got the 2D, which is the white here, we've got the 3D, which is the black, and then we've got a drop shadow on that entire thing. Another thing that I'd probably say on this piece is, yeah, really simple, but as you can see, I've gone in with, instead of doing some kind of like dark shading here, I've just gone in black in with the black on the left-hand side of the letters, because obviously you can't highlight on top of white. So I've kind of flipped that on its head and gone on the left-hand side and added some black markings, which kind of give off a bit of a shading effect there. So yeah, my initial idea was to draw this character and then sort of work the piece around that. So I drew the character with the arm and then sort of worked the S around that, and it kind of looped around. And then yeah, sort of kind of went kind of mad with it, kind of just whatever's in my head kind of spits out onto the page. So we've got some like tattoo kind of stuff, got a little fat cap over here, a little train on a railway bridge, and then a brain in a jar. Yeah, a bit mad. A few techniques you can see, like I've already mentioned. We've got a drop down 3D with kind of shading to show a bit of depth there. We've got cross hatching within the hair and on the buildings and on the train over here. You know, it just adds a bit more depth, and it shows which areas won't be receiving light and which will be darker in that. I mean, you can talk about it being technical and all that, but it's really just what comes out of my head when I'm drawing. So yeah, next one there. This is like a kind of style that I really enjoy doing. It's basically where you just forget about pencil and go straight in with the ink. And you don't have to worry about connections between the letters, because what you do is you draw your S, you put the 3D on the S, and then you draw your E underneath. You don't have to do cutbacks, you don't have to do any of that. You're just layering the letters on top of each other, going in that direction. You can do it in the other direction, but it doesn't read as well because obviously you read left to right, so you're reading the letters in that order. If you do it the other way, it sort of throws the eye off and doesn't look as nice. Yeah, some simple interior details, which are kind of cool. And yeah, some background details and all that. So yeah, next one here, which I have showed in another video when I was talking about extensions and working on those. So this is kind of like the most complicated piece that I did. Try to keep it fairly straightforward when it comes to the letter structure, and then kind of really exaggerate the extensions. Maybe a little too much in some areas, but yeah, there's definitely, like looking back on this piece, areas that I would change. For example, this, I definitely move it over so it is more central, giving a better line of symmetry down the middle. I would straighten some of these up so they match symmetry lines. But yeah, quite happy with it. The 3D, as you can see, so the way I've done that is, again, areas that are going to be receiving more light, such as this area here, is a lighter color, and then areas which are going to be shaded by shadowing from the letter itself will be darker. I've also got, vivid red background, which kind of helps it pop off a bit. Gone back in with a Uni Posca to create the highlights. So the next one here is just a simple Risk piece. So I did a live stream sort of a few weeks ago and asked people to drop their name in, and I'll do them a quick hit off. So this was a lad here called Risk, and I did this simple straight letter piece for him. So yeah, like I mentioned, these interior details, these lines, I really enjoy doing those, and I feel like they really kind of set the piece out and make it look quite nice. Little black and white one there. I'm going to be doing a few more live streams, so if you'd like to get involved with those, head over to my Instagram, give it a follow, and you'll get a notification when I start one. I normally always do hit offs or hand styles or something, so yeah. Next one here is this green and purple piece here. Not too happy with the colors, but as far as the structure goes, pretty happy with it, to be fair. As you can see, there's a few sloppy areas. I feel like this whole section here on the S is very crowded compared to the simplistic P we've got, and that doesn't really lay very nicely because of the lack of symmetry we've got here. We've got a very busy area here and not much going on over here. We've got symmetry, of course, with the arrows here, 2 and 2. That's nice. Other than that, that's the best thing about kind of working on paper and then going back in and reflecting on it. You can really see where you went wrong, and then in further pieces kind of remember that and correct it so you don't make that same mistake again. And lockdown's really given me that opportunity to kind of do that. Really simple, just kind of a glorified throw up. Not even really a straight letter at this point, really simple, gone with some kind of mad fill. But yeah, not much to talk about here. Really simple lettering, curved bottoms, and so there's cohesion within every letter. They're all very similar. Again, a little fine liner piece here. Really enjoy working with these. All you need is a Sharpie and a uni ball or a cheap fine liner pen, and you can do something to that kind of line width. So I've got, this is just kind of a freestyle, to be fair. I just drew a throw up as I normally do on a bit of paper and then just started to work into it. So I've got this kind of a globe character here, skateboarding away. He's throwing a can down. And yeah, they just worked into it. So you had a brick wall in the background with some lettering. So I had a brick wall in the background with some shading, and then I worked in the front here with sort of river scene with some barbed wire. And that's the beauty of working in this kind of style, is you can just keep layering things up, and if it's on your mind, you can sort of just lay on a page. And what's good about that is it kind of develops you in drawing stuff that you would never normally go to draw, and it can really help develop your skills in that kind of sense. Yeah, so next one here. So anyone who's followed my work for a little while can tell that I'm kind of into tattoo-y kind of styles, and I kind of mix that with a hybrid of some graffiti lettering here, as well as drawing from my own hand style. So yeah, my own hand style kind of follows this kind of based lettering style. So we go from our big S to into the lowercase e, and then this sort of pings up into the R. And I kind of draw from that, as well as just sort of freestyling it and going with it. And I always like having these kind of indents. I feel like they add a bit of subtle detail, which is very easy to do and can really add a lot. Okay, so this one again, it's done in the same style as this one, where you literally just do the letters in the order and layer them up without any kind of sketch. But this one I did in color. Really wanted to practice how I could use 3D and push the boundaries of 3D in this one to, I have some areas which are lighter, but instead of shading them per se, I just do it in a different color. So the darkest area will be the darkest green. It's really simple, just playing around with colors and shapes. Maybe not the kind of thing that I would really be that interested in painting, but it's good to practice and always helps with techniques. As you can see, not very good, but with cutting back, you obviously can't do that with ink markers as well as you can with paint markers, but I've used a green fine liner to kind of create the sharper edges, which doesn't work well because it's a different color to the original green that I was using to make the initial lines. So okay, so finally there's this piece, which is just a simple blue and pink one that I've done. I've painted this a few weeks ago, and there'll be a link to that video in the description. It's really cool. It features some drone footage and all that. Yeah, and I'm really happy with that video, and if you haven't checked it out, I'd really appreciate if you go check that one out. Really simple kind of lettering with some exaggerated extensions. I've got a vanishing point 3D here, and as you can see, I've used different shades of pinks to create the shading within the 3D, and then I like to add the black lines afterwards. I feel like it really makes it pop off. The reason I've done that is because these markers don't really tend well to blending, as you can see. So what I've done is I've used some same kind of blue to kind of soften the line there, and then added some like rock work down the bottom kind of thing. I don't really know, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. Just a darker blue to add some kind of shading within. Posca for the highlights once again, and then a drop shadow on the 3D object again. So yeah, it's just kind of sketching letters. It's not that deep, but there is always like sort of a thought process behind it when you kind of come back and reflect on the work you've done. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be doing a live stream very soon on Instagram where I hit off a load of guys' names and do some hand styles and bits. So go follow me over on Instagram. But anyway, guys, thank you for checking out today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one.